Speaking of housing, let's talk about Captain Cook's Cottage. Of course, it's just come to mind here that, of course, you're the Deputy Mayor of Melbourne, that Captain Cook's family, of course, their parents built the house, then the house was, of course, brought out here, and now there's some chat that your council's going to walk away from keeping it as one of the great Melbourne tourist attractions. Do you want to call fake news on that story or confirm that's the plan?
Look, Paul, I'm not aware of any plans for the closing of Captain Cook's Cottage. It was brought to Melbourne in the 1930s. It's been a pretty popular attraction for 70, 80 odd years, actually 90 years. So no, I'm not aware of any plans to close it.
Okay, so you would stand by it staying there?
There may be reviews going on of various parts of parks and so on, but I'm not aware of any plans to close it.
But if you have a say, if you have a vote, you'd keep it? You'd keep it upkeep? You'd keep it open to the public?
Well, I went there as a kid. It's a popular draw card as far as I know. I mean, look, I don't want to say how I would vote on this if it ever came before council because I haven't seen what all the evidence says, but I think it's a pretty popular draw card in Melbourne.
Well, because I love you, I'm going to take that as a yes, but I think a lot of people can hear some wiggle room there. Well, we'll wait, watch and see. Thank you, mate. The heritage laws that are playing out in Western Australia look like they're about to be replicated in the federal sphere. Now, of course, all of this is the cover of what was a disgraceful act of the destruction of a significant Indigenous site. But the overcorrection where now you're being fronted with $2.5 million potential fines and being told that you can't do tree planting if you're a council. Looks like this thing's going to go federal. Matt, the clever wiggle words, the gaslighting again that Tanya Plibersek, when she wasn't claiming credit for the reef that was regenerating before she became the minister, but anyway, was today say, well, we're not about to adopt Western Australian law. That's not how it works. They're a separate state. No. What evidence do you have? What concern do you have that they're basically going to click, drag, repeat what's happening in WA nationally?
Well, I'd just like them to rule it out, and I do think there was real room left there by Tanya Plibersek. The situation here federally is that the federal government is also looking to establish a new Indigenous cultural heritage framework, pretty much in parallel with what Western Australia has done. The Western Australian changes came about after the Yukon Gorge incident a few years ago, where Rio Tinto blew up a 40,000-year-old cave without adequate consultation with the local traditional owners. And the backlash from that has led to this outcome where now suddenly it's not just mining companies having to go through these hurdles and hoops as they should do. It's people who own a quarter-acre block are being captured by this regulatory net. Now, the federal government is also responding to the Yukon Gorge incident, and Tanya Plibersek's in charge of that. I just want her to rule this out, because that's what my concern is, that post the Voice, if the Voice got up, the government might slip this in, just like the WA government has. It didn't go to the polls on this, didn't tell the electorate, didn't even tell the parliament the detail of these regulations until they lobbed them into the public only a few weeks ago. But we can't have a situation where people on freehold land in their own home have to pay thousands of dollars just to do some gardening in their backyard.
No, agree completely.